9810 Stafford Avenue. Time is 6:05.
Mr. Gardner. Here. Ms. Stranger. Here. Ms. Moore. Mr. Blackwell. Here. Ms. Morrow.
Stand up.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Gardner. Yes. Ms. Stranger. Ms. Moore.
Yes. Going to approve and sign the minutes of our last meeting. Agree, any opposed, and which is April 4th, and April 17th, which is a regular.
So. Mr. Gardner. Yes. Ms. Stranger.
Yes.
Mr. Blackwell.
Yes. Now we have a report from the treasurer.
Mr. Blackwell. Board of Education Director. 1 second. Percent. Yeah. Okay, tonight we're presenting the 5-year forecast for the spring of 2023. A 5-year forecast is a 3-year look back and a 5-year look ahead. We're going to mainly concentrate on the current fiscal year, the stuff that we know, but we'll touch a little bit upon predictions for the future. The reason we complete a 5-year forecast is Ohio Revised Code 5705-391. This is what we're going to cover tonight, the 5-year forecast. General fund is a used account for all financial resources that are not restricted to specific purposes otherwise required to be accounted for in another fund. This 5-year forecast will include just the general fund. General fund revenue includes county property taxes, school foundation, homestead and rollback, Medicaid reimbursements, miscellaneous revenues. Take a look at our chart for the general fund. Our main area is that bottom blue. That is our foundation that we receive. And the second big part is that red. That's our general property tax. With everything else accounting for that $48.8 million. General property tax this year is going to account for $14.6 million. Our public utility personal property is $1.2 million. Our unrestricted grants and aid, that was that big part of blue, $23.7 million. And that's currently being calculated at the 2018 base rates. There's been talk about moving that to 2020 rates, but currently this is what's been approved by the governor. There's your grants and aid, property tax allocation, and all operating other revenue. And here's our expenditures. You'll see that our big sections are personal services, which are salary, and then that gray is the benefits. After that, you got purchase services, supplies, and all the rest makes up that $43.4 million. Personal services and benefits, that accounts for 74% of our expenses for fiscal year 23, which is in line with similar districts. Our purchase services are a little over 8 million, and our supplies and materials are 1.2 million. A lot of these funds have been, you could use ESSER money to absorb costs for, so we'll talk about that in a little bit. You round out the rest of that. 43.8 million. So if you take a look, this red line right here is our revenue. You kind of, right now it's above our expenses, and then we kind of go into deficit spending in 2025, continue in 26, 27. Our cash balance remains pretty healthy. We're gonna be close to 14, we'll be around 14.9 million this year. And then in year 2027, we're projected with an $8.9 million cash balance. Here's kind of what I said right there. Take a look, deficit spending starts in 2025. It's a little bit higher there because we got in some textbook adoptions. And then it goes 2.3 to 2.8 million in 26 and 27. Keeps our cash balance healthy at 8.9 million in 2027. And then if you notice in 2025, our revenue, our expenses does go up quite a bit, and that's the account for ESSER funding and those other things I mentioned. Now I'll take any questions or whatever discussion.
So your presentation, this looks about like the revenue that we get in the city of Maple Heights, where the revenue comes from.
In the general fund, correct?
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of that had to do with our property taxes.
Absolutely, yep. Yeah, your tax money goes all to the general fund. Along with state settlement, foundation reports, which is money from the state. And other revenue sources.
So can I ask the question, so I don't know if this ties into what you're saying, but like, will we be able to open up our pools again? You know, I think, did I see a revenue, we had like 5.4 overage, or I don't know if I saw that right. But
So in year 2027, the overage is 8.9 million. Open up the pools have not been discussed. It is not included in this forecast.
What pools are referring to? Like
the
Stafford?
school, yeah, at Stafford.
That's the city.
Yeah, so that would be a city.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah, this is all just school
Oh,
money.
so with that 5.4 overage, what's the plan?
Plan is you want to stay over because, you know, you want to have that healthy cash balance. And then, you know, this will extend out in the future years to come. And we are, you know, we do talk about different plans, but this is what we know right now. It's what I'm presenting.
So pardon my ignorance again, so do we have plans for that in the future? I'm just trying to.
There's always a plan in the future, yeah, yeah. But I, you know, what I'm accounting for is what I know today. Anyone else? There.
Thank you, Mr. Reed.
Then I would recommend, items 1 through 4 under the treasurer's report. Section.
I think it's, I think we're asking you guys to approve recommendations, 2, 4.
Mr. Gersh? Yes. Mr. Stranger? Mr. Blackwell?
Yes. Now we have.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, members of the board, Mr. Friedrich. My report for this evening, we'll start with some information under one, section, Commission 1, 3 students reconsideration for home instruction. The second thing, we can go back out in the audience, again, I'd like to invite Ms. Picar and some of the students up here that are involved in the STEM program, give a presentation of some of the projects they were working on, this year. So, Ms. Picar, will introduce you. Come on.
Good evening. We are here from the Maple Heights High School STEM Club, and we're just sharing some information that we collected from water quality testing that we did at our local watershed, which is the Mill Creek watershed. So essentially, just to give you guys a background story, we go here every year to test the water quality, see how that's affecting see how the quality is at our watershed. And then we go back every year at different times of the year and see how the quality of the water changes based on the circumstances of the environment. And so today we're just going to talk about some issues that we found with the watershed, as well as solutions and plans for the future that we hope to help better the water quality. So these are my friends, Angelise on the far left, Antoinette. My name is Devin. And to start us off, we're going to talk about an issue that we found with the water quality from our testing.
Hi, as Devin introduced, my name is Antoinette. We started this, like Devin said, we go there every year. But in the spring of 22, we wanted to get outside, really learn about our community, and topic of pollution came to discussion. We started talking about how pollution affects water quality, and that pollution does come back into our bodies. So went out to our communities, went to Mill Creek and Hemlock. While conducting data, we noticed that excessive amount of trash around and in Mill Creek. And the table, so there is 2 different tables on the board. We have the biology data is where we found different types of creatures that lives, microbiomes that lives in the community that suggest if the water quality is good or if the water quality is poor. Devin wanted to show some of the.
So we tested the water quality using 2 methods. So both biological and chemical data is how we collected it. So these are the 2 graphs showing that. So starting out for biological, the way we basically do that is we hunt for different macroinvertebrates. So basically just like, aquatic bugs and things in the water and see what we can find. And based on what we find thriving there, it tells us a little bit about the water. So for example, toothpicks worms or certain types of leeches, if we find those thriving there, then we know that's a really bad quality water because those are type of macroinvertebrates that can withstand, really dirty water versus like caddisfly larvae or stonefly nymphs. those are macroinvertebrates that generally need cleaner water, in order to thrive and survive. So our two comparisons was Mill Creek, which is our watershed, and visually, that stream had a lot more pollution and things like that. And then Hemlock Creek, which visually was a lot cleaner in appearance and from what we saw. So looking at the biological data, we actually saw that Mill Creek, which was our watershed, was a lot better. But looking at the chemical data, we saw that our data for Mill Creek only scored a 2.33, which will be the equivalent of like a C data. So basically, what we came to reason was that because of that pollution in the water, it's affecting the chemical quality. And of course, that's all coming back to us because every single watershed, every single creek, stream, river, in this general area, all end up leading right back to the Great Lakes and Lake Erie, where we get our water and our drinking water. So the quality of the water, even for our small creek, even though it may seem insignificant, in reality is playing a larger role in affecting us personally as well as our environment. And so next up, we're going to have Angelise talk a little more about exactly what kind of data we found, and a little more about how we found it.
I'll be introduced and I'm gonna talk about data. So basically, we went out into the field, collected data from our local watershed on the water quality. We tested the water quality, not only chemically, but biological factors. By testing, when we tested the water chemically, we looked at factors such as dissolved oxygen, pH, phosphate, and nitrate level. We also reviewed the overall odor and appearance. We tested the biological factors. Went up on the understand what kind of macroinvertebrates we find. The different types of macros described by the speakers were different. Oh, okay. Sorry. The different types of macros we found thriving in the creek is what gave us information regarding the quality of the water. For example, the pouch snails can tolerate really dirty water, but caddisfly larvae needed much cleaner water to survive. We tested the water from different parts of the creek and averaged our data. And like data said, the chemical data from Mill Creek got a score of 2.33, which is like a C, and Hemlock Creek got a score of 3.36, which is considered a B. And as for the biological data, Mill Creek got a score of 19.33, which would be considered good, and Hemlock Creek got a score of 12, which is considered fair. As can be seen on the bar graph for chemical data, we compare the data from each creek and use it to reason why litter may be a cause for the lower water quality. We also know that despite Mill Creek having the low water quality chemically, looking at the biological data, it actually proved to be a better environment for the macroinvertebrates. We feel this is partially due to the lower water levels in Hemlock Creek.
Okay. And so just to wrap it up, a summary. So why are we doing this presentation to you guys in the first place? Well, simply everything is connected. It's the simplest way we can put it. When trash is dropped on the street or improperly disposed of, that stuff blows away, and that stuff ends up in our sewers, ends up in our creeks, and like we already discussed, circles right back around to Lake Erie, the Great Lakes, and circles right back around to our drinking water. And it affects us personally as well as our environment. And so we want to do our part to really make sure that we can help, combat this pollution and the improper disposal of trash and stuff like that. So actually some STEM club students as well as some members from our advisor, the speaker in her classroom, did a litter cleanup along Maple Heights Boulevard by the high school. But we know that, of course, the truth of the matter is, if we really want to make a difference in our community, it's going to take more than just one classroom. It's going to take more than one club, which is why we want to do this presentation to you guys. So if we can spread this news and this message in our classrooms and the newsletters and help people to get a better understanding of how, the bag of chips or the gum wrapper that you just left on the floor and you thought would be fine is really circling back and affecting the chemical data, it's affecting our drinking water, it's affecting our environment, then we feel that we can really help to do a better job of helping people to be more aware of their litter and help people to do their part. And so that was pretty much all we had for you guys. We were there for like, what, an hour for chemical, I say an hour for chemical, an hour for biological at each creek. So 2 hours at each creek. Well, so the way it works is, so for example, maybe she's here. Like, so one thing that we test is nitrate. And nitrate levels are used to detect any possible fertilizers or anything that may be in the water. So we just take a sample of the water, put a nitrate pill in, we shake it up for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then the color of the water after the pill is dissolved tells us the nitrate levels, and what that tells us about the water quality. And then, but we would do that in different parts of the creek. So we do some, towards the end of the creek, some towards the middle where there's running water, where there's still water. So we would get all the samples and just average out on that.
And like I said before, we did this in, like, actually, this right here is our current data. Data that we have here is like slightly, it's actually kind of higher. It's coming down as more and more tests. Actually, like you mentioned before, we saw a lot of trash. Actually, this trash, the trash all along the lane. And we noticed on one side of some creek, the water was just filled and trash was just sitting there and water wouldn't be, so just sitting there. And it was like full of mosquitoes, which you, our data would show that the water quality is poor there. But when the water was moving, even though there was the water moving allowed better better to go oxygen to be there, but the chemical on that side was still lower, and as Devin was saying before, the water comes back into drink. And
It's almost like climate change to a degree, but it's better.
Technically speaking, it was definitely the quality of the water, because that's why we tested the 2 different creeks. Because like we had said in the beginning, Hemlock, if you go, it's generally, that's right, it falls right into Tinkers Creek. You'll see it's not really any trash there, for the most part, especially when compared to Mill Creek. Visually, it's a lot dirtier water. So chemically, that's the aesthetics we got, and biologically, we feel that there was also a difference between this year and last year because of the levels of water. Thank you guys for your time.
So, one thing real quick, I just want to say, it's nice that we're able to talk about this issue, right? But more importantly, we have 3 high school students, one of our advisors here, doing some amazing science and STEM work. And so, I just want to commend, our 3 students who came out here to present. I mean, and you can see, like, they're passionate about not just knowing science, but doing something about our, so, I mean, that's invaluable. I so appreciate what you guys have done, and speak art as well too. So thank you guys. And don't leave this. Jeff, you can go ahead and you guys can take a look. Our next part of the information is having Ms. Bruce Sorrells and the middle school staff are here today, is that having a presentation on the building level goals that they've had for years. So I'll turn it over to Ms. Bruce Sorrells.
Good evening. My name is Vicki Pruitt Sorrells, and I am the principal for Milkovich Middle School here in Maple Heights, affectionately known as the Milk. And so we want to first start off by thanking you for joining us here in our home, away from home, here at Milkovich Middle School. So this year, we have had quite a few goals that we have been working on. But before I move any further, you go to the next slide. I want to just take this opportunity, the next. Our motto that we have been using this year is build more together. Our team, our administrative team is Bryn Morris, who's the 8th grade assistant principal, Andrea Rosewell, our 7th grade principal, Demetrius Williams, our 6th grade principal, but also that some that are joining us here this evening, and I would just ask for them to stand or wave or whatever the best that you can do, is our other staff members who are waving and they have smiles on their faces. So I want to thank them already for being here to support us tonight. Every day we start off with telling the students what the mission statement here is at Maple Heights City School District. It is educating our students through expectations of excellence to prepare them for a lifetime of success. We have 3 areas that we have been working on, and I know that you all can read this because it's big enough for you to read. I'm being sarcastic, but we're going to go over them. 3 major areas that we have been working on this year. It has been academics, DEI, which is our diversity, equity, and also on communications. I want to invite one of our teachers, Ms. Laura Gura, to come up as she's going to help with presenting the information regarding the academics. Just really to summarize what we're going on, we had 5 areas that we were focusing on in our academics. And in those areas, we were able for 2 of those areas, we are on target as well for 2 more of our areas is one where we had to make some adjustments. Ms. Gura.
According to our attendance, we're looking at, our goal was 45%. Chronic absenteeism was reduced at the middle school by 7%. As of November, we have met our 45% or exceeded our attendance goal every month. And that is through May, which we're ending at a 45%. The later start time has had a positive impact on our attendance rates. Regarding the 90% attendance rates, we were able to get to 87%, so we're still striving to get to that 90% rate for next year. Regarding academics, our math TBTs, our goal was 50% of students would score 60% accuracy or more on TBTs. In the 6th grade, we went from 7% to 81%, or to 18% rather. So we did meet that goal. In 7th and 8th grade, we did not increase by our 10%. However, in our 7th grade, we did have we did perform better than our projections. So we're pretty proud about that. Algebra, however, they met their goal on the TBT December through March, which was the last month for data collection. In algebra, they went from 67% to 78% on their OST test. Regarding ELA, they have not consistently in any grade, met their goal for TBT. 20 to 30% did, which is 30% did pass, pass proficient on the OST. So those did align the TBT with the OST. In our curriculum drive, all staff have access to it and are able to use it effectively. And for our career and college readiness, all students, grades 6 through 8, are exposed. There is a special curriculum scaffolded by grade level, and connections are made within curriculum. Specifically, ELA is our most recent. They did do a project with careers for the 8th graders. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Gurra. Next. Okay. So some of the evidence here that we have to support that, you can see our academics where we're trying some new strategies. In our math project-based learning, and where we are dropping everything and reading. In our new college and career readiness classes, preparing our students for future pathways by helping students to explore careers and identify their own qualities. And as well, making those connections within the curriculum regarding future plans, career choice, and career exploration. In our second goal, which is DEI, which is goal number 2, it is DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. In those areas of 5 areas, we found that there were 3 that were relative, 7 areas. We found that there were 6 that were, data will indicate that we're on track. And then also where we have 1 where we're needing to stay the course. As far as it goes, is conducting an inventory of the curriculum. We have utilized, for cultural relevance, discarding outdated curriculum and curating diverse books aligned to the standards and providing training to teachers. We have utilized things such as our book vending machine. We are on track to building a DEI committee. And as far as our DEI training, delivering professional development to all certified and classified staff, we are also on target as we have provided. You'll see in the evidence, we've expanded the DEI focus, and that is developing and designing the DEI programming for marginalized students, included in our after-school program as well. And 20% increase in the Tier 1 PBIS implementation and prevention efforts are measured by our Tier Fidelity Inventory, our TFI, as we are on, the data indicates that we're on track. Our staff wellness is creating a staff wellness plan for implementation on a quarterly basis. That is with our school culture committee, retention and recruitment, as well as other activities to support that. We are on track. And one more area that seemed to get cut off, which is the one that we are still staying the course with, which is the one with regards to discipline through the use of a restorative practice framework, reducing the use of exclusionary discipline actions or practices. So we have our positive behavior referrals. You see where students receive positive behavior referrals and then are called down and acknowledged and celebrated for making good choices. Sports and clubs here at the Milk, where we're trying to help students to find not only just for career choices, but also things that will help them to develop. And our last goal, which is communications, we were able, with those 5 areas, there were 3 areas where we were on track. The first one is student news, producing the student voice news for all district platforms 2 to 3 times a month. So we are on track with that, particularly with some news, particularly we want to thank our Ms. Hogan, who has been able to work with students to produce news that goes out weekly. Streamlining the technology, that is maintaining the currently used communication tools for families, staff, and students on a consistent basis. Social media, we have produced so much social media, they have invited us to be digital editors. Community room, communicating to our families and students when community room is up. That is one that is still, we're still staying the course on. And as well, family engagement, supporting the family engagement initiative with things such as a father's walk, principals talk, family engagement activity, and we are on track there. We have groups that have been developed in an effort not only for social emotional, but also to highlight those students. That is our diamonds. Diamonds, okay. Our Boys Male Academy. 1,000 Ties. Student Advisory Committee. So we've had the Father's Walk. Other events that have taken place here at Milkovich Middle School. Pride Assemblies. Black Excellence. All school read, we read this year, Black Joy, it should be Black Boy Joy. Black Boy Joy is an all-school read that we did this year. We also invited in the Cuyahoga County Poet Laureate, Honeybell Bay. And we are proud to say that we have some high achievers here at Milkovich Middle School. This year, Ms. Howard was identified as the Teacher of the Year through the Maltz Museum Stop the Hate and Songwriting Contest. So we want to congratulate her again. We also congratulations to Ms. Matisak's 8th grade class Song of the Year. So you've heard that song either when you were coming in or just a little bit of it. And then also Milkovich has been identified as the School of the Year with the Maltz Museum Stop the Hate Essay Writing Contest. Thank you very much. Yes.
So you said that the 6th grade, when you came breaking down the goal, the 6th grade data, it was a.
Ms. Guerra. I can't hear the
You said, you said the 6th grade, the math data, what you said was that?
The 6th grade went from 7% to 18%, so exceeding the 10% proficiency
Now, what about
goal.
the other grades? That's what I was.
I'm sorry?
The other grades, 7 and 8.
Seventh grade stayed at 18%. However, 7th grade did do better than projections.
What was the projection?
The projections were, I believe, 15%. Yes. And then 8th grade did not. They went down and they did not meet their projections. So they did not make the 10%. However, algebra, which is 8th grade, went from 67% to 78%.
What about the other? You got those?
So in ELA, yes, we had a 30% passage from the proficiency on the OST. They did not throughout the TBT process throughout this year. They had a 20 to 30% passage rate on the TBT. So it does align with the proficiency of 30% on the OST.
What was that?
That was just overall. Yes.
Thank you.
Mhm.
So I think that attendance actually stayed 7%.
Yes, the attendance rate. Our goal is 90%. We did reach 87%. Now, our chronic absenteeism was reduced by 7%.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Where you go to, do you have a building, DEI committee for the current building?
We have a DEI committee.
So the community room. How's that?
That's the one we're still, we haven't done much work with that this year. And so next year, that is, one of our focuses to stay on task with the community room.
You need help with us? I'd be the first year, first part like that, lots of. But you know.
Do I need help? I always need help. So yes. I'll let you know what it is. So
Okay.
yes, we will need help.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you. You did a really good job. Thank you all, y'all did a really good job. So as we wrap up the next section, I did want to say, I can think that, it's a lot of things going on in Milkovich. You saw some of the clubs and organizations, and Mr. Fritz Wells and the staff, we got the kids involved, and some of the work of the, teacher of the year by Ms. Howard. I believe that Ms. Coleman was also listed by the Cavs as teacher of the year. So a lot of good accolades from the staff, a lot of outstanding work by the students. Thank you. My reports for this evening, my recommendations. In part two, recommendations 1 through 4. Number one includes the approval of the list of the class of 2023 for diplomas. Most proud of that we have on Thursday, evening at the Wolstein Center. Other recommendations are personnel 3, section 3, 1 through 22. Yes. Likewise, that one of the, and that approval, Mr. Chris Sutton. Middle school, while he wasn't able to be here with us, he did write a note and say, thank you, everyone, thank you for their conference and having conversation.
So at this time, we have visitor participation, so if one would like to stand and learn. Come right here to the front. We have the count.
So,
Okay.
so would you all recommend like maybe like a trash cleanup day,
So man, we need you to come out and we need you to take care of that.
My name is Ingrid Wyatt, 19250 McCracken Road, Maple Heights, Ohio, 44137. So would you all consider maybe a trash day, a national trash day for the middle school or high school? Just piggyback off or after, the project, the guys came up and presented, something like that, just a community day or a cleanup day to help with the water project. Just what? Yeah, they have their staff lot. Like a piece focus on them, what's the part of that?
So.
So,
That idea. Okay, so, next we're gonna have, the outtake come up and, that. Well, instead.
Good evening, Mr. Vice President, board members, Dr. Keenan, Mr. Friedrich. My presentation this evening is a follow-up to the presentation at the last board meeting in regards to the proposed student wellness and fitness center. And which we plan to build out in the Wiley Athletic Center, which is currently the natatorium space. There were some questions that the board gave at the last meeting, as well as the past, that we were asked to carry out. So this evening, I am here to entertain those questions, as well as provide an update relative to the task. The first task was the board requested that we put this information on the district website to get feedback from the community about their desire to move forward with the Student Wellness and Fitness Center. It was placed on the website for approximately 2 weeks. There were 143 responses. Of those responses, 138 or 97% of them were in favor of moving forward with the Student Wellness and Fitness Center. The board at that time also requested information in regards to the equipment costs, the elliptical, the benches, the weights. We worked with a contractor that we worked with in the past for some of our equipment. We estimate that cost to be somewhere between $275,000 and $325,000. There was also a question in regards to the room capacity. We did have the Captain Daniel Staken come out, the chief of the fire department. He took a look at the space, did some rough measurements based on his information and calculations. He believes that we can get approximately 180 people in that space, in the Student Wellness and Fitness Center. 180 was his rough estimate. That one was also 180. Once again, those are rough estimates, based on his counting of the square footage, as well as the drawings that were provided by the GPT group. Ultimately, if we move forward with these projects, once we get the city housing department involved, they'll give us a more firm number of what the capacity is in each space. So with those things said, there was also a question about sustainability. I believe that Mr. Friedrich's 5-year forecast clearly indicates or point out that we can certainly afford this and we can sustain it over a number of years. So with that said, it's our hope that the board will allow us to move forward with the project. If you recall from our last conversation or discussion on this matter, it was our hope that we could move to bid out the project in mid-June. Anything beyond that really puts us in a difficult position, and it may not be likely that we can meet that September 2024 deadline. Keep in mind, that's the deadline in which the ESSER funds need to be spent. So if for some reason this evening the board is not willing to move forward with the next phase of the project, which will be building it out, awarding that bid to a contractor and starting the renovation or construction, probably need to consider or have some conversation about other ways in which we can use the ESSER funds that were allocated for this project. If there's any questions, I'll be more than glad to entertain those. Mr. John Peterson is here with me today from the GPT group. He's the project manager. He can entertain any technical questions that you may have about the actual space, construction, bidding, et cetera.
That is the Butler Center. Or if you have a copy of that, and probably.
Yeah.
So it's just a big version.
Just a big version will be- and will be distributed to the other board members at the last meeting.
I was supposed to find a post.
Answer questions that. That's.
I mean, we had on the website. Only trying to pick the. Spot, if you can find it, we love it. Spots.
Thank you. Excuse me, Dr. King, can I add something? Unrelated to the Student Welfare Center, I did want to just provide the board a quick update on the stadium, the turf and the track. So as we've mentioned in the past and what's noted on our website, we expected or anticipated that that project would be completed on July 1st. We are ahead of schedule. Right now, it's looking like the project will be completed June 16th, June 18th. The actual football field, the turf is completed, it's done. We did a final walkthrough, last week, building and grounds director, assistant athletic director, football coach, as well as the contractor, everything looked good relative to the turf of the field. So the next step is to complete the track. Right now, there's an area that requires cement that is curing. We expect that they will start the track installation the day after Memorial Day. If the weather holds up, once again, we should be done by June 16th or 18th. Yeah, it was that corner section close to the knee road. So we excavated a large amount of that area and rebuilt the base of it, and then put cement over it so it's level. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we are going to move into the executive section for personnel. Thank you all for coming. It's now. Oh. No action will be taken according to executive session. We have a motion going to executive session.
Mr. Carter? Yes. Mr. Rader? Mr. Martin?
Yes. And we are now in executive session. The time is 6:59. Thank you all for coming out.